The rain fell in relentless sheets over the dark streets of Chicago, turning the city into a mirror of despair. In a narrow alley, two tiny figures huddled beneath a torn blanket, shivering not only from the cold but from a lifetime of betrayal. Their eyes, wide and wary, darted at every passerby, each shadow a potential threat. The world had been cruel to them, and yet, in their silence, a fragile hope lingered, like the faint glow of a dying candle. No one noticed the twins, barely 8 years old, as they clutched each other's hands, whispering prayers to a God they barely understood. Their stepmother had sold them, bartered their innocence for money, and left them alone to navigate a city that had no mercy for children like them. It was on this stormy night that a sleek black limousine slowed near the alley. Its engine purred, a sound so alien to the ears of the twins that it drew them from their hiding spot. Inside, Nicholas Harper, a billionaire whose name was whispered in the corridors of power and wealth, looked out the tinted window, restless despite the luxury surrounding him. He had everything money could buy, mansions, yachts, private jets, but tonight, a hollow ache gnawed at his soul. Something had always been missing, a fragment of his life he couldn't name. As the rain blurred the streets, his gaze fell on the shivering twins. Instinctively, he felt a pull, a recognition he could not explain. He stepped out, ignoring his driver's protests, and approached them with cautious tenderness. This was the moment where lives pivoted. Nicholas bought the twins from the human trafficker who had intended to sell them further into darkness, paying a sum he hadn't even bargained for. As he wrapped his expensive coat around their tiny shoulders, he saw the fear in their eyes slowly soften into bewildered trust. He whispered their new names, Christian names that symbolized hope, Abigail and Grace. And in that moment, the world seemed to pause. If you believe in kindness and second chances, don't forget to like this video, share it with someone who needs hope, comment your thoughts, and subscribe to the channel for more stories that restore faith in humanity. Nicholas brought the twins to his sprawling mansion, where marble floors and golden chandeliers couldn't hide the emptiness in his heart. The children had never known a life like this. Warm baths, soft beds, laughter that wasn't tinged with fear, it was overwhelming, yet Nicholas insisted on patience. He didn't push them, didn't force smiles. He simply stayed close, a silent guardian. Nights were the hardest, when memories of abuse and neglect whispered in the darkness, and the twins would curl into each other, trembling. Nicholas would sit by their bedside, telling them stories of courage and love, and slowly, trust began to bloom. As weeks passed, Nicholas learned more about the twins' past, their story unraveling like a tattered manuscript. The stepmother's betrayal was more than cruelty, it was calculated, heartless, and designed to erase the existence of Abigail and Grace from the man they had been born to. A seed of unease grew in Nicholas, a gnawing suspicion he couldn't ignore. Certain features, small gestures, and the uncanny familiarity in their laughter tugged at memories he had long buried. Every time Abigail tilted her head or Grace squeezed his hand, it reminded him of a time when his own daughters had been stolen from him, lost in the chaos of a past he had tried to forget. One rainy evening, driven by an unshakable intuition, Nicholas demanded the birth records from the adoption agency. His hands trembled as he compared the details, the birth date, the hospital, the mother's name, and then, a name he hadn't seen in decades appeared on the paper. It was the confirmation he had been both dreading and yearning for. The twins were his daughters. Abigail and Grace were the little girls he had been forced to give up under desperate circumstances, torn from him by fate and the betrayal of someone he had once trusted. His heart ached with a combination of sorrow, relief, and overwhelming love. The reunion, though delayed, was everything Nicholas had imagined and more. He held the girls in his arms for hours, whispering apologies for a past he could not change, promising to protect them from any harm for the rest of their lives. Tears ran freely, mingling with laughter and sobs, as the girls finally understood that their father had never abandoned them. Each embrace was a reclamation of the years they had lost, a silent vow that no one could ever break the bond again. Life began to change for Abigail and Grace. Nicholas enrolled them in a small, welcoming school where they could learn and play without fear. He introduced them to a world filled with opportunities, yet he remained careful to preserve their innocence. Every day, he watched them grow, marveling at how resilient they were, how hope could bloom even from the darkest soil. And yet, he never forgot the pain they had endured, using it as a reminder to cherish every moment, to never take love for granted. In the mansion's garden, the twins would often sit under the cherry blossom trees, their laughter floating like music in the air. Nicholas would watch from a distance, tears of joy in his eyes, knowing that fortune had finally aligned with fate. The stepmother's betrayal, once a shadow looming over their lives, had inadvertently led them to a love and safety they could never have imagined. What had started in darkness now radiated with warmth and promise, a testament to the power of resilience, forgiveness, and the magic of second chances. As the years passed, Nicholas, Abigail, and Grace became inseparable. Every night, before sleep, they would hold hands and recount the day's joys and small victories, cementing a bond stronger than any wealth or status could create. And in those moments, Nicholas realized that life's greatest fortune was not money, power, or fame, it was the ability to reclaim what had been lost, to mend broken hearts, and to witness the triumph of love over cruelty. If this story touched your heart, please take a moment to like the video, share it with someone who needs to see hope, and subscribe to the channel for more tales of humanity's kindness and resilience. Don't forget to comment below with your thoughts. What would you do if you found long-lost loved ones in the most unexpected way? In the end, the mansion no longer felt like a fortress of cold luxury. It had transformed into a sanctuary of laughter, forgiveness, and rediscovered family. Abigail and Grace, once lost in the shadows of betrayal, now danced freely in the light of love, their father's arms always ready to protect them. And Nicholas, who had once thought wealth could fill the emptiness in his soul, finally understood that true treasure is found in the hearts of those we love, and in the miracles life grants when we least expect them. The story of Nicholas and his daughters serves as a reminder that even in the deepest pain, hope can find a way. Sometimes, the cruelest acts can lead to the most beautiful reunions. And for Abigail, Grace, and Nicholas Harper, life had given them the rarest gift of all, a second chance to be together, whole and unbroken.